welcome to Podcast vs. Player, episode 227. I'm one of your hosts, Cal, and as always, I'm joined by a man who's bought an deodorant stick today. The instructions said remove the wrapper and push up the bottom. He can hardly walk, but when he farts, it smells lovely.
See, annoyingly, that was funny before you even got to the punchline.
I know, yeah.
That was not bad. That was not bad at all.
It's only bloody Dan.
Hello.
Hello. Finger guns are working today.
Always working.
They literally didn't on the last episode.
Oh, did they not?
No.
I was too I'm also too tired now. So if I forget what I'm saying halfway through a sentence, then I apologise in advance.
Well,
but it's...
Welcome to every Tuesday.
I know. Oh, wait, it's Tuesday?
It is Tuesday.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me
right.
double check. Yes.
Yeah.
It is Tuesday.
Okay, that's fine. I think it's because I've been like because I don't take any holiday through the year. It is by choice, but it's because I don't really do anything else. So there's no point in using it. It all kind of like backs up to like one particular point. So now I've got like this Friday I'm off. Last Friday and Thursday I was off, and the Friday and the Monday before that I was off, and then next Thursday and Friday I've got that off. So time just sort of like it's all just sort of messed up at the moment.
Just falls down into nothingness.
Yeah. So I'm just a bit behind on where I should be for the week, I think.
Well, Dan.
So it's not good.
What is good is when you come down for retro shenanigans and other such things, you have a little thing here waiting for you.
Little thing, eh?
A little thing. Review's going to be up at some point this week, but we've got a new microphone to review, Dan. And after that review, it's yours.
It's all mine.
It's all yours, Dan. It's right here in front of me.
Unless the review is not very good, in which case...
Spoiler alert, it's very positive.
Oh, good, okay.
Very, very
well, there you
positive.
go. There's a little cheeky treat for everybody.
Yeah, there's a little sneak preview.
To be fair, when it comes to a review, that's all you need.
Yeah, it's good.
Good, bad.
There's no in-betweens. Not with our reviews.
No,
it's 10 out of 10 or shit. But no, Moana are not sponsoring this episode of the PvP podcast. That honour goes to Blueberry. And there'll be a thing here. And I'll have cut it in. This episode of the PvP podcast is brought to you by Blueberry. Blueberry is a premier podcast hosting service, and with Podcast vs. Player, you can get 1 month absolutely free. Just go to blueberry.com and use promo code PVP. Now, back to the podcast. Very transparent. I haven't checked any of the notifications that we've had regarding things. CD Keys, I have updated the account now, so...
Ooh.
Get them monies rolling back in. This episode could also be from CD Keys, but it's not because I said Blueberry would do it. So,
well, speaking of CD Keys, currently, as it's the
they save it until
October,
the sponsored one.
God.
No,
well, no, because it's not going to be relevant then. But Uncharted Thieves Legacy, the Nathan Drake,
Uncharted 4, and the Lost Legacy, 2 separate games in one collection.
It's not called that though.
No,
is it? It's not called the Nathan.
The Nathan Drake collection
of them.
is the one on PlayStation. I think this is a
Legacy of Thieves collection. That's what it's called.
There you go. Yeah, because it's Uncharted 4, Thief's End, and then Uncharted: The Lost Legacy.
Right. Okay. Well, basically, that's pre-ordered. Pre-order on CD Keys. It will be out by the time this podcast comes up, but it's a scorching £30 something.
That's an incredible saving on a 7-year-old game.
It's about a tenner.
Yeah.
But it's the PC one, so it's the one that we've all been waiting for. It's the much superior version, except that it doesn't have 1, 2 or 3, which would... to be fair, if it came out and if it was 60 quid and it was every one of them, I think I'd get that.
That's
if
still
it was
a lot,
like a remaster of like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then Lost Legacy.
But it's not a remaster.
That's like 100 hours of...
It's just a port of the remaster that's already available.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Sorry, the remaster that's like the remaster of the original 3 as like part of the Nathan Drake collection. So if that,
I still don't know if I paid 60 quid again. But this is from someone that's bought it multiple times already.
Yeah, I mean, I've already bought 1, 2, and 3.
You did have 3. Yeah.
So 4 and Lost Legacy I've never played, so it kind of works out perfectly for me. And Miles Morales is also out reasonably soon, and that is also going for about 30 quid on CD Keys. So check them.
Excellent games.
Out.
Excellent games.
Yes.
Two of my... I mean, I love Uncharted and I love Spider-Man. All we need is for Sony to release Spider-Man: The Lost Legacy collection. And it's
Peter Drake collection.
The Peter Drake sounds way better. Right, cut that. Let's do it again. Yeah, very good. Both games are well worth buying. And if you get Uncharted this month, you get a good few hours in before Miles Morales is out next month.
Well, maybe so, but I bought the Mafia. I don't know why, but I got a hankering for something, and I had a bunch of Steam credit left over from a refund on something, and the definitive collection for Mafia was on there for like 20 quid, and I've never played any of them. So I've completed 1, completed 2, and I'm like maybe 5 or 6 hours into 3, and so far, money well spent. More than happy with it.
I like them. I think they're good games. I'm more excited for next month, Dan, because God of War Ragnarok is out.
Well, I'll be able to talk to you about that in about 2 years when it finally comes out on PC.
And the rest. It could be about 4 or 5 years.
The speed they're coming out, mate, I don't think it will be as long as you think.
I wouldn't say speed. Like, I think the fastest one we've had was the first Horizon.
Well, what was the length of time between the release of Spider-Man on PS4 and PS5 and on PS4 and then Miles Morales on PS4? How long was it between those two?
Well, I managed to go from having a PS4 to play Spider-Man to buying a PS5 to play Miles Morales.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is, but it was about sort of when did Spider-Man come out?
Whenever the PS5 came out. Whatever.
No. I mean the remaster for the PC. I mean.
Oh, a few months ago.
Yeah, it was like 3 or 4 months, and then
wasn't that long ago.
No, but then we've got Miles Morales that's out in a month from now.
But don't forget, this is basically DLC, not a fully fledged. It's not a sequel.
No, that's true. But if it's, I'm just thinking if they have the release times at about spaced out at about the same amount of their time from their original releases.
No, because God of War was a fuck ton longer. God of War came out like 2016 or something like that.
But this is it. I still think that this is just testing the water. It's only now that they're kind of like getting real into this that I think that those kind of wait times are going to be severely reduced.
It depends how much they still want to push consoles.
August, Spider-Man came out, and then November, Miles Morales is coming out. So I'm pretty sure when they came out originally, they weren't that close together.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have been finished either. That's a daft comparison.
No, but that's what I mean.
You got all of the Mafias in one go. Like, they didn't come out that quick when they came out.
No, but what I mean is if you were waiting for the same amount of time for it to drop on PC that you were from when Spider-Man came out originally, then like you could kind of, roughly speaking, you could timeline when you'd expect Ragnarok to come out.
I'm going to say about 4 years. I'd say 4 years.
No, I think if they start getting some speed behind it, I reckon 2.
Something like God of War that's going to push consoles. I don't think it's going to come out quicker, like any quicker. You're probably looking at the same length of time between God of War and God of War Ragnarok.
I'm going to say 2024. I reckon it'll either be announced or it'll be out at some point that year.
I'm going to Switzerland myself, and I'm going to say 25 instead of 26.
Okay.
So October 18th, 20 to 9 p.m. Dan's saying 24. I'm saying 2025.
I'm going to say Q3 or Q4.
I'm going to say November 2025
I bet you anything, like tomorrow it'll be like, oh, actually, it's coming out on PS5 and PC.
It's been
same
cancelled
day.
on PS5 and it's only going to be out on PC.
Turns out we can make way more money off PC, so we'll just do that instead.
Nah, I think stuff like that, because again, like a big bulk of the games, like Days Gone, like not Fahrenheit. God, what was the other one? Beyond
no,
and
not,
Heavy Rain.
Sorry.
Heavy Rain,
yeah.
Like these are all stuff that they're not going anywhere anymore. Like Uncharted, there's no more Uncharted games going to be out ever. You probably Last of Us will probably be your next one.
That's true, yeah. I'm hoping that maybe that will be a twofer if we're lucky, but I don't think that will be the case. If they're going, well, we'll release them on PC, but you're not getting any packages.
Yeah,
we'll release them one at a time,
the other way,
and you can pay for them all. So presumably at one point there will be here's Uncharted 1, Uncharted 2, Uncharted 3, the PC pack, and you can buy the ported versions or something, because they can take their time in optimizing it and making sure that it all works and that. And I'm all about that. I'm okay with it, and I'll happily wait the few years for the physical sales to kind of dip down, and then they go, okay, PC time.
I still think they're missing the mark and not doing a PlayStation Game Pass for PC.
I think they missed the mark now.
They've done it with the PS Plus collection.
Yeah, I think that PS Plus has pulled its finger out, and it's way better than it was a couple of years ago.
It's expensive though.
But to do like a PC version of it, I think they missed a trick by if they've already released them on Epic and Steam, because then you'd be creating a brand new launcher that people would presumably have to pay a subscription for in order to. Although I will say this, right? If they said we're going to do a PlayStation launcher, so the equivalent of Ubisoft or EA or whatever, but it's everything that's on PS Plus.
Yeah, so basically the tier packages they do now. So you've got PS Plus Essential, which is just the same PS Plus they had before, so you get 3 or 4 games a month for free, and online play and everything else. Mm-hmm. And then you got another tier up from that, and you get access to loads of PS4 and loads of PS5 games, including Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Uncharted, all that stuff. And then you've got a higher one which gives you access to PS1, 2, and 3, as well as 4, 5, and
I think if that came out, I'd get that. I reckon I'd have Game Pass and PS Game Pass.
I'd pay for it, but again, I still think it's a bit too late now, just because of how far into it Xbox are with Game Pass. But like I've said before, I 100% think the quality of games on PlayStation is far better than if you take out all of the non-Microsoft owned properties. All you keep it in is Forza, Gears, Halo. That's about it.
It's not about it.
You know what
sure.
I mean, though. The big heavy hitters. But saying that though, they've bought loads now, because technically, by that logic, you would include all your Bethesda games.
Yeah, and that's true actually. Yeah.
But even that though, I think fucking Last of Us on its own is better than most Bethesda games, not in terms of quality, not longevity.
I don't know. I think the true test of that is going to be the Last of Us TV show versus the Halo. I was going to say,
it's already won the Halo one.
No, the Halo one doesn't count. Although I love the fact that I keep getting adverts for Paramount Plus, and it's just all the Star Treks, it's Discovery, all the new Star Trek. It's all the new Star Trek stuff. None of it is on Netflix anymore.
Yeah, it's all.
But all of the old stuff is pain in the arse.
Mm-hmm.
But for the people in the UK, we've got to pay for Paramount Plus as an add-on to Amazon Prime. So it's Strange New Worlds.
Or Sky TV.
Who's got Sky anymore? Anyone who's got a Sky subscription, bin it. Get Netflix and fucking Now TV or whatever. Done. You don't need 500 channels Sky? Of bullshit. No, but it's a condensed
a
version of it. Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I was paying £80 a month for Sky when I had it.
That's what I mean. It's an unbelievable... You could get every single... again, this is for the UK only, but every single, Netflix and HBO... Max, although that's not available in the UK, isn't that
No, we get all that through. It's a mixture of Prime and Netflix, dependent on the show.
Yeah. But if you pay for the top tier of Netflix, and you got Amazon Prime,
Disney Plus,
and Disney Plus, exactly. If you paid for all of those, which I do, it would be cheaper and no adverts, because fuck that. Unless you're paying for the new upcoming. Cheaper rate Netflix, which does have adverts in there, which some people can deal with, and that's fine. Still have 40 quid to spare, I reckon.
Yeah, I mean, I've got top tier.
And it's not all just dog shit. Fucking, you've got 30 channels of all I
mean, it's more than 30
QVC.
channels, but
no, but I mean of one specific thing. So there's 30 documentary channels.
Yeah,
there's 30 MTV music-based channels. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's just blocks of the same thing.
irony being, we were at Zoe's. I had to go do some stuff for Zoe's mum the other week, and like took my toolbox and everything, and got there, and they've got Sky, and they've got the new Sky Q box and everything. And the irony being, put the telly on for Logan, or TV if you're in America, and put it on for Logan. Didn't put Sky on, go straight onto Netflix. Because all the stuff he wants to watch is on there. But it's more annoying because I pay top 4K Netflix and everything, and like I think it's like unlimited devices and all that. £8. Well, it's £9 now for Amazon Prime, and then
what?
£7. Yeah, it's gone up £1.
It's gone up. Oh wait, are you paying monthly?
Yeah.
Right. See, I pay. So yearly it was like 70 something. Now it's gone to like 92, I think.
Yeah, we used to pay it yearly, and then I think I cancelled it for whatever reason, and then when we got it back up again, we just went with monthly. But it's still like it's like £30 a month for Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Disney Plus. But I don't have to pay any extra to go. Oh, Logan wants to watch it upstairs. Best get a new box. No, just fucking will sign in. He's got his own profile, and I'm going on a train. I can watch it on my phone. I haven't got to pay for Sky Go Extra. It just makes way more sense, and the quality of content is a hell of a lot better as well. And most of the stuff, like I remember when I did have Sky, one of the things I used to watch all the time was Modern Family. That's on Disney Plus, so I could just watch it on that anyway. There's some things like you say, like the new Game of Thrones and everything else, but arguably a better show is Rings of Power, which is on Amazon Prime.
Well, I think that's finishing or has finished yet. And
have you watched
the first one? Yeah, I watched the first episode, and it wasn't until the following week that I realised it was actually 2 episodes released that first week, and I was like, oh shit. Well, Friday's coming up though. I'll wait until the weekend and I'll watch both of them. Yeah. So I've got, and it's now like another 7 weeks later and I still haven't got around to it. So at some point I'm going to sit down and watch them all, because I quite enjoyed the first one. It seemed quite good. It was very, very well shot. It's
been about 20 years and I still haven't watched the films, so I think you're still ahead
of
me.
Needs to happen that needs to happen at some point. Like, they're cracking.
I've got them ready. The plan was to get them watched in time for this to finish and then start watching Rings of Power, but I haven't really had much of a free weekend the last few weeks with decorating and whatnot.
Really, that is an all weekend kind of job, that is.
Yeah, it's like literally still going. I was just saying to you before this, like normally Roscoe sleeps like over there, but when we record, because he pitter-patters about and barks and loads of other annoying things, normally I'll just put him on the stairs so he can like just chill with Jasper. But I've had to put him in the kitchen today because all the stuff's on the stairs. So
oh, right.
But yeah, it's looking all right though, all ready for your arrival. And then we can start the kitchen. We did. What's it? We'll do this after the fucking podcast.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, I don't know if you've got anything specific that you was planning on talking about.
I do.
Cause
have you seen the news? I'm not going to specify.
I mean, from what country?
Harrison Ford is joining the MCU, Daniel.
Harrison Ford. I think I did see something about this in passing. Don't tell me.
I mean, if you don't want to know, then I have other things to talk about as well.
No, I saw it. Because it's someone that already exists that's been recast, isn't it? Thunderbolt Ross.
Yes, potentially. It's not. Yes. It's not 100%. He's definitely joining the MCU, but it hasn't 100% been confirmed that he's playing.
Well,
Ross.
the fella that plays General Ross, did he die?
He died. Yeah.
So this would be the first time that someone's died and their actual character has been recast. So, like, obviously Ed Norton's been recast, and what's his face? Don Cheadle took over from bloody hell, the other fella that played Rhodey.
Oh God, what was his name?
I can't remember. Bloody
the other guy anyway.
The other guy, the one who was stupid enough to be like, I ain't getting involved in this anymore.
Yeah, he wanted more money, didn't he?
More. Idiot. other than like Zachary Levi, like taking over as like one of the Warriors 3, like there's like been so minimal like recasting. But I don't think anyone's been recast after an actor's died.
No. Like normally they'll do like Chadwick Boseman, obviously one of the more recent ones, but he's not necessarily been recast. The character hasn't been recast. The title will be recast.
Yeah,
so
for
it's
sure.
like passing off the torch. But I don't think in the MCU we've seen someone die in real life and then somebody come to replace the character. And if it is
not to memory anyway,
going to be Thunderbolt Ross, that can only be because they're going to be introducing a certain big red fucker.
But can you see, like, Harrison Ford is like the most bored actor in the world. Like, I just don't see him coming in and just being like a military leader that also turns into a Hulk.
But it could be the flip side of it, where, because like Harrison Ford had already said he doesn't want to, after the new Indiana Jones film, he doesn't want to do any more big franchises. And in order for...
But the MCU, on the other hand...
Well, but that could also be the exact opposite of what I've just said, and they've gone, like, every, like, 4 or 5 films, like, you can film all of it today, and you'll just pop up every now and again, say something.
We'll
put this
do the
team
scans
together.
of your face, in your head, shout some things, go Hulk.
Sokovia Accords.
yeah. Do all of that, and then you can bugger off.
Yeah.
We'll get you in for some VO over the phone if we need it.
Because they've already gone against what I thought they were going to do, and have, with Abomination being reintroduced, he would have took on the role of Red Hulk in the Thunderbolts. But
nah. Oh, I see. Right. Okay.
Yeah. I don't mean like he'll be Red Hulk, like he's the Hulk character in the Thunderbolts. But speaking of, She-Hulk's finished.
Well, we'll move on to that.
Yeah. But yeah, so Harrison Ford, but he's also rumoured to play somebody else. There's not on this article that I had open, so scratch that. There is a rumour of him playing somebody else, like a villain person, and I can't remember who it was. But more likely, Thunderbolt Ross.
I did see...
Shall I Google it?
There was... Oh, shit, I can't remember who the picture was of. But it was someone... Again, rumour mills, potential, blah, blah, blah. But it was someone being cast as Mephisto.
Oh, no, it definitely wasn't Mephisto.
No, it wasn't. It certainly wasn't Harrison Ford. But there was somebody else. I can't remember who it was. So again, but it's one of those things that maybe it's real, maybe it's not. But with like Blade, if we get things like Ghost Rider, if we're getting more sort of like supernatural stuff in there, like Werewolf by Night that's just come out as well.
Yeah, very, very good.
That was very good. So I'd love to see more like that, where it's just sort of like, let's just not do sort of like, end of the world, bloody joke. Let's just do some different things. Let's do some horror stuff. I think the biggest kind of indicator as to whether they're really going to sort of like let loose with some of the other properties is Deadpool. Which is like, if Deadpool 3 is very similar to how Deadpool 1 and 2 have been filmed, and like in terms of the violence and the language and that kind of stuff, then sure, just let them just sort of go, let's have a sitcom one, let's have a office-based docudrama sort of thing. Let's just sort of experiment and just not do the same formulaic kind of stuff.
Can you imagine like a mockumentary one, but with Marvel characters? Like the Office.
I'd like to see that. Like,
I mean, they did it with Thor, didn't they?
I know, but that was like an advert.
Yeah.
It was like a couple of like...
It was just like online sketches, basically. But
yeah, it was just like marketing stuff, wasn't it? But if you did like a bunch of some of the people who work at like the Avengers compound, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, I suppose that's exploded now, but like that kind of thing. But you could still have them just sort of like just sat around, just going, yeah, it's all right working here, and then Iron Man just sort of like blasts in behind him and just blows everything, and it's just like, oh fuck's sake! It's like, sorry, can we just reset? Like, just sort of like. There's Chris Hemsworth just sort of walking past, and like, do you know what I mean? So it's like, it's still very part of that bigger universe rather than just being like, here's all the nerds that you don't actually want to talk to.
Yeah, kind of. I'd like something like a Lower Deck style thing.
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun. Yeah, because that's not all just sort of like they're just making the best of a bad shitty situation.
Yeah,
but then there's still like cameo stuff that kind of keeps it cool and relevant. Also, that's right in the throw of season 3 at the moment, and it's potential. I think they've really found their feet with it. It just seems to be getting better and better every week, so I'm really pleased with it.
I didn't realise till it was quite a good few episodes in that I forgot the main dude. I forgot what his name is. He's Matt Singy from The Boys. Huey.
Yeah,
Jack Quaid.
Quaid, yeah, that's right, yeah. Did you ever watch Space Force?
Yes, I've seen Space Force.
Steve Carell.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know that he's like helicopter pilot who wants to be an astronaut.
Yeah.
The woman, I can't remember what her name is, but that's Mariner.
Oh. She's a cool character in Lower Decks.
Yeah, she's actually like I thought it'd just be like it would be really great, but like there's like some of the other episodes where they kind of like explored more of her sort of like insecurities and vulnerabilities. It's kind of shaped it. Like I kind of just want like Jack Quaid and her. I want them to like show up in a thing
kind of
and just
proper
like
Star Wars.
That would be amazing if they just like actually cameoed as their own voiceover character.
Yeah.
That would be so cool.
That'd be pretty awesome. Speaking of things that aren't awesome, though, speaking of things that aren't awesome, have you seen the new Phase 6 schedule? It's all
I did
bad
see
news.
that there's a few things that were pushed back, I think.
Yeah, so Blade, which is under incredible
Well,
development
Blade's
hell.
halted.
So, well, it's still happening, but that's been pushed back. Originally 11th.
It's November, I think.
This is .com, so this could be. Yeah, so this will be the 3rd of November 23. It's now been moved to the 6th of the 9th 24. Deadpool 3.
Big push. Jeez.
Originally the 6th of the 9th 24. Has now been moved to the 8th of the 11th 24. So
that's not so bad.
Fantastic Four. Again, so basically each one. So Fantastic Four was originally on the now Deadpool date, and that's been pushed back from 8th of November 24 to the 14th of February 25. Some untitled Marvel movie, which was on the 14th of February 25, is now the 7th of November. That's a big fucking long jump, that one is.
But to be fair, that's like of the whole Phase 6 thing, like the Kang Dynasty stuff all seems fine. Like Secret Invasion should be fun.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about that. I want to see Blade and I want to see the Fantastic Four.
Like Deadpool.
Anything else, not interested.
Not Deadpool.
Like I want to see them. Deadpool's fine.
I want to see Deadpool more than I want to see Blade.
Nah.
Yeah, 100%.
Nah. Like we haven't had Blade since like the early. We haven't had Blade for like 20 years.
And I'm fine with that.
Absolutely not. I want to see Ryan Reynolds play Hannibal King again. That would be so good.
I imagine if they had rights to it, he would have gone back. You know, Deadpool 2 when he goes back in time and stops.
Oh, that would have been amazing.
If they had the rights to it, then he'd have done that as well. Because he's
it was just sort of like don't trust that Wesley guy. He's a right prick. Something like that.
But no, like given the not specifically Deadpool 3, just the fact that we're going to see Wolverine in the MCU, Hugh Jackman in the MCU.
Yeah.
I want to see that more than I want to see Blade.
But potentially though, they could have X-Men that come in before Hugh Jackman shows up as Wolverine. So you could have a new recast Wolverine that's like the new younger Wolverine before you get that Wolverine.
I reckon that's going to be a Phase 7 thing. The X-Men.
No, I disagree. I think they've already started dropping. I don't want it to be. I think they've already started dropping too many hints for it to not be something coming soon. Because, like, obviously, spoilers for multiple Marvel things, so apologies. But Miss Marvel is a mutant, apparently.
Namor.
They've said that Namor's a mutant. Obviously, Charles Xavier has shown up as a mutant in a different universe, but it's still. That's an X-Men that's been in an MCU film. An X-Man.
A woman.
We've got the X-Men 97.
That hasn't started yet. But that's not an MCU thing. That's just a continuation.
But this is... It is, but I think that it will be a continuation of the 90s cartoon, but it will feed into this
maybe,
current MCU canon universe. Otherwise, what's the point? You just restarted a cartoon from 30 years ago. Pointless.
Oh no, because by the same logic, you've got the new Spider-Man cartoon.
Yeah, but they don't own the rights to that anymore. There's no point in trying to fit that in. It won't make any sense.
No, but I think it'll just be a cartoon. They may have like guests, so you'll have.
No bollocks. They'll do a what if or something like that, and just be like, well, what if the X-Men were here all along?
Yeah, but again,
and it just cuts to the X-Men, so they're all just chilling, drinking beers.
But by the same logic, we've already got them. Like we got Colossus and everyone from Deadpool.
Well, no, they own that universe now. It doesn't mean that they've crossed over at all.
Yeah, they will. They will. Deadpool's only got 3 locations to film on.
I was going to say, yeah, you take Deadpool, you take Colossus, you take Negasonic, maybe Yukio.
Hey, Yukio.
I've realised, right, for some reason I've just been watching all of the X-Men films over the last couple of weeks or so. But I watched The Wolverine the other day, over the weekend. You know, bloody his bodyguard.
Yeah.
That's Yukio.
Yeah.
And I was like, fucking Negasonic's missus. From the Deadpool film. That's her as well. Brilliant.
But yeah, but I think I don't think it's the same one. It's just an alternate one, isn't it?
No. It's just the same character though. Yeah.
I watched Deadpool 2 on Sunday because I haven't watched that for a long time.
I watched that quite a few times. I think I've watched the second one more than the.
I've watched the first one more. I like the first one. I think the first one's a better film. The second one's just the first one with money, which ain't a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
That's any franchise.
Yeah,
isn't it? First one kind of comes out of nowhere, breaks all records, and blah 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 blah, and then like make another one, and here's a blank check to go and make it with, and it's just like, yeah, sure, let's just have 50 other people in it that wouldn't have been. But then Deadpool's at least got the good sense to go, let's get them all in, kill them immediately.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So there's only actually one extra character, so that's fine.
And I like Domino in it. I don't know who the actress is who plays
it's
her, but
ZZ Bates.
I know them, but I couldn't tell you anything else she's been in.
Off the top of my head. Presumably, I hope that that's not the biggest thing she's been in, because she was very good in that.
Well, Brolin's very good in it. Reynolds actually very good in it. I still can't stand the kid.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't think he's a particularly good actor.
Nah, it really brings it down for me.
Yeah, but thankfully he's not in it a huge amount, so it's fine.
I like seeing. I can never pronounce the name. It's like Monica Bocelli or whatever her name is.
Oh, Baccarin is.
So, yeah, you know what I mean though. I like seeing her in anything she's in. I really like her. She's very good in Gotham.
Yeah, wasted in Gotham.
Oh yeah, I mean most of the people in Gotham are wasted in Gotham.
That's also true. Yeah, the biggest problem about being in Gotham is that you're in Gotham.
I know, like I say, after season 2, it gets a bit more silly and comic booky, and I'm fine with it. I really
not in a
enjoyed
good way.
I really enjoyed it.
Nah.
It ended up awfully, but I
despise having to watch it all for a terrible ending.
I mean, you didn't have to do any of it.
I did. You made me.
But I like Gotham. It filled a void on a Sunday, which I didn't mind.
Fuck off. Let's just make another thing about Batman that's got nothing to do with Batman. Fuck off. It had
everything to do with Batman. Did you not watch the last episode?
Yeah, that's why I had to watch them all.
Cameron Montague's still the best Joker by far.
Again, you're wrong.
I'm not wrong. He's fantastic.
No,
he's very, very, very good.
I'm saying that the what's his name, Barry Keoghan, the Batman Joker. That's the one I'm most interested to see.
I'm interested to see, but I don't think he's going to be. I don't think he's going to set the world on fire.
No, I disagree. I think he seems like he's an actual. When you watch if you watch like a Netflix show or something like that, and it's just like it's interviews with a serial killer or whatever. He seems to have that kind of energy.
Yeah,
he's obviously very intelligent, but but that's the point. That's the sort of person you go, okay, well, whilst you're behind a pane of glass, like Hannibal style, you're kind of useful. The last thing that anyone wants is for you out of that box.
Yeah.
Because if you are out there, fuck me, we're all screwed.
Well, that's off. I given enough prep time and stuff, I think anyone could be a good Joker for 12 seconds.
I really like the look, because a lot of it just seems to be based around. fuck off again. Double fuck off.
Nah, Jared Leto's by far not the worst. I've seen worse Jokers.
No, that's the worst.
I don't know. He's the biggest letdown. Leto had potential to be a very good Joker.
But again, they've, instead of going, let's make him interesting, let's make him not understandable or approachable, but let's make him scary, or let's make him, let's just make something that's
maniacal.
creepy about him, or he makes your skin crawl. And all they did is just like, let's just make him look like a clown. Good, and action. Right, we'll cut that anyway. Don't worry about it. Like,
I'm not going to use it.
It just seems like they were just purely focused on aesthetics rather than anything behind the eyes.
I think they did a better job in the Snyder Cut Batman. No, Justice League. No,
again, but if you say, well, him at the end of the Snyder Justice League on a card talking about fucking Batman or whatever. Again, if you want to say that anyone could be a good Joker for 12 seconds, well, sure, that was a good Joker.
That's
for 12
what I mean,
seconds.
though.
But that isn't a Joker I want to see any more of.
Nah, I want to see it more.
I don't want to go, what's he been up to?
Yeah.
How did he get like that? Oh. The Barry Keoghan, though, is it Keoghan? I'll say Keoghan for now. Apologies, but that one, I'm just like, I want a whole mini series about like him talking to a therapist. Like, so you could do, like, instead of just going Harley Quinn, put her in an outfit, blah blah blah. No, not the Lady Gaga one. Like, do another one of them, but it's him. Like, you could do like a 6 episode of just like him slowly but surely kind of like breaking her down without her realizing it. I mean, like, that seems like it's the sort of psychological side of things that's far more appealing than just.
But I want him to move away. I don't want another Joker for a long time. I want.
Well, tough titties, mate, because you're gonna get
but we're
one
not,
in
though, are
the
we?
Batman.
Because the villain in the new Batman.
No, I'm not saying he's
going
to be the villain in it. I'm saying he's absolutely going to be in it, though.
I don't know.
He will, even if he's just behind the glass and he's just helping out with some tips and tricks or whatever. Then he's going to be in, like, that was too good, and it was like the deleted scene has like got so many fucking views on YouTube with people watching it. Like, then they're not going to go, well, that's done, we'll do someone else now. Like, I mean, I agree he shouldn't be the focus for the next one. I say you roll out someone else and you make them a bigger, scarier threat than they did with the Riddler. The Riddler. How did they make that?
Well, the Riddler was a better Joker than most of them.
Exactly, yeah. But it's just like, again, with the sort of like the release time sort of like following the new like Joker 2, whenever that comes out. Like, you don't want just parallels being drawn between them. Like, have him as like another like tool to use until someone goes too far and then breaks him out, and then he's like, oh god, we can't deal with this guy on the street as well. Forget that.
They did a good Telltale Batman. They handled the Joker very well in that. I won't go into spoilies because I don't think you've played it yet.
I haven't, no.
It's very
but
good. It's my favourite Telltale series.
Well, the Telltale Walking Dead Season 1 and 2 is on Game Pass at the moment, so I'm hoping that things like Wolf Among Us and Batman will also pop up on there as well at some point, maybe.
Tales from the Borderlands?
That feels like, because it's like an epic...
It's good. It's alright.
...thing. Like, the game is like an epic game. It just feels like it would be weird to see a Borderlands thing on Game Pass. I know that Epic don't they don't own it, but I don't think I've even got a Borderlands on oh wait, I've got Borderlands 2 on Steam. Never mind.
This has completely stopped all of it.
Yeah.
That's the Borderlands one's pretty good, as is the only one I haven't played is Back to the Future. I've yet to play.
Wasn't that one of the very first ones?
Yeah, dead early on
back in the day. Didn't they do a Jurassic Park one?
They did do a Jurassic Park one as well.
They did?
Yeah, well, I'm 98% sure they did.
Because I know that there is like a sort of like that kind of like point and click adventure kind of thing for a Jurassic Park, but I don't remember. It doesn't feel like it would be
100%. No, Jurassic Park the game. Universal and game developer Telltale are teaming up to create the new Jurassic Park game. And that was 2011. Yeah, it's an episodic graphic adventure game. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. 100% so I thought that was the case.
It just doesn't say the Telltale game like everything else does.
Maybe they're just trying to distance themselves from it a little bit with all of the not great performances of the current films.
Very true. Very true.
Have you seen Dominion?
I've still yet to watch it. You need to watch
that. I watched Super Pets over the weekend
good,
as well, by the way. Actually, quite funny.
Got some very funny
times.
bits. That turtle's hilarious.
I disagree. I hate that turtle because it was the same fucking joke again and again.
But the first time it happened, though, that was pretty funny.
It's the equivalent of having like a DreamWorks movie that's just got like the cool kooky grandma that's gonna do snowboarding or whatever. It's like, just fuck off.
I thought it was pretty funny. I liked it.
No, but for the majority of it though, it seemed like it was
fun.
Just a good sort of like kids
and
pet based film. Fine.
You got Super Pets game on Game Pass,
which I refuse to buy because
you don't have to buy it.
It just looks like it's a like one of those mobile phone games where it's just sort of like just doing that in a line.
We haven't done Paw Patrol yet. We need to do it before it leaves Game Pass, Dan.
Well, I don't think that's going anywhere just yet, mate. It's only just been added.
Exactly. It'll go tomorrow. Need to make way for more Super Pets. She-Hulk, Dan. Season finale. What do you think?
I don't know. Because I'm still not entirely sure, because it felt like everything that happened up to the point where she was just like, wait a minute, all of this is just nonsense. And then leaves and kind of like,
goes through the Disney
out. I love that side of it.
I thought that
just sort of like going out and just being like, you're writing shit episodes, what's going
Kevin
on?
Kevin Feige's a robot. Spoilers.
Spoilers, nice. I like the fact that it's just sort of like he's just a computer just like churning this out. Like they found the algorithm and they can just pump it out. Like, because it's a commentary on themselves. They know what the deal is. So that's fine. I also like it just sort of him just being like, can you change back to Jennifer Walters for
it's
because
cheaper.
It's actually really expensive to keep you as She-Hulk. She's like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. And then just like, it would be better if she's like, well, no, fuck you. Like, you've got Disney money. But I think it's like, for the most part, I think it's been reasonably kind of funny. I don't think it's been action heavy, but it's not supposed to be.
No.
I think Daredevil was great. Like, it's nice to see a Daredevil that was a normal kind of like happy person. It's not like he's not like a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man who's just downtrodden and beaten and miserable all the fucking time. He had a laugh and a shag, and he did some sweet flips and stuff.
And a walk of shame.
Oh, that was so funny when he's just like, "Hello."
I am very not. I don't know what the right word is, but I'm not pleased of all of the daytime shots of Daredevil.
I agree with, because it just like, but the thing is, think about it, like through the entirety of like 3 seasons of that Netflix show, when did we ever see him in the costume in like actual like bright daylight? Like there might be like a lit street or a corridor or something like that.
When he fights Kingpin in the street, like when he first gets the proper suit, that's
but
in
that
the
again,
day.
that was at night.
No, it's in the day.
It's
in the day, but the difference being the lighting of the entire show is grim. So it's like downtown Chicago, where everything smells of fish from the market and it's all grimy and murky, to this, which is just LA sunshine and everything else. But then, and obviously they've changed it to like the golden, like burgundy suit from like one of the original comics, but it just seemed like, hey, I'm in LA, this is my summer suit.
You should have had like some of those like Bahama, like Tommy Bahama,
like the flowers,
surfer shirts. Yeah. But I tell you what, like do you remember when I think it was probably in the second season, there was a trailer for the second season of Daredevil, and he was in the full suit, because now he's got the full suit, and it was like all backlit red, and he was coming down some stairs, and he looked absolutely terrifying. If you see that guy in the daylight when he's got a big smile on his face, it's like, there ain't nothing scary about you, mate.
Smells of sex.
But but I quite like the fact that he didn't just sort of like, oh, here's a shirt to borrow. He's just like, man, I've got these are the clothes that I apparently brought with me. I didn't expect to go out to get laid tonight.
Which is true. He probably didn't.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like the sort of like little punch up that they have, like I prefer like him sort of like this sort of like it's almost Spider-Man like reflexes of just like she's just swinging and missing by a mile, and the only way she can get him is just a superpower that he can't, and also a super loud bang.
I was going to say, I was a bit disappointed his ears didn't explode.
Yeah, like the boys' style, where he just bang and just deafens that blind spot or whatever his name is. Like, if he'd have just been like rolling around on the floor screaming, though, I don't think he'd have been in quite as much of a mood to start getting up and making out with her.
Probably not. No, it's.
Although I have to say, She-Hulk, bad sportsmanship, just picking someone up and just ripping their mask off.
Yeah, not
okay. You don't do that. Not in this game.
I think it's more so obviously just to speed it on, so there isn't that in the courtroom the swapping glances and stuff, and then they meet on the street.
I like the fact that
it's this guy. I hate this guy.
Yeah. But I like the fact that like in the courtroom he just kicks shit out of her.
Yeah,
and she's just sort of like, oh jeez, I didn't see this coming.
He's a good lawyer, isn't he? Says it in Spider-Man.
Yeah. He's
a man of his word.
But he just. Like, with the ending, though, with it just sort of being like, you know, here's the Hulk, he's back from space, and here's
Scar.
Abomination, and it's just sort of, she's just sort of like, well, none of this makes any sense now, which is good.
Yeah, I'm glad they did it.
But then it just makes me think, well, did any of that actually happen then? Because
no,
it ended with just them.
Instead of her getting to the thing and Hulk comes through and there's a misunderstanding and he starts fighting Abomination and the Hulk King's taken the serum and now he's turned into a fucking whoa party fucking Hulk. None of that's happening. Instead,
hipster Hulk.
She's I assume she's a lawyer again and is going to court.
It gets him arrested.
But the annoying thing, what annoyed me the most about that is going, I don't want a big fight. I don't want my cousin to swing in and save the day, and I don't want this guy to get Hulk powers and stuff. I want to do it like this is a lawyer show. But we didn't get to see the case.
Yeah. But would you want that? Would you want like sort of like, oh my god, Abomination Hulk at it again? Oh, and there's a new Hulk and she's got to step in. Oh, and Daredevil's going to come in. Oh, and it's just smash cut and it's Law and Order.
Yeah. Oh no, it's not like, smash cut.
And so on the
but to go like do exactly what they did, but instead of
I think you'd need another 20 minutes on the end of that show.
To finale.
Yeah, I like the fact that it's also just sort of like
ended in a barbecue.
Like she's just like, oh, X-Men.
Yeah.
There's the other X-Men reference I was talking about. Yeah. Also, I like the fact that she's just sort of like, it's almost like she's reading out tweets.
She probably was.
Like what's happening with the X-Men? What's going on with the outfit? It's just
back.
like just. But again, you could have had like when she just sort of like walks out and she's just walking through like the Marvel lot, and she bumps into Krasinski and she's like, "Oh, are you that fantastic?" And he's like, "No, I'm not doing that again." Yeah. Like just something to just kill it there and then.
So you get your one last cameo, but it's not the cameo you wanted.
Yeah, or it's Hugh Jackman and. It's just sort of like, oh yeah, I'm going to be in Deadpool. It's like, yeah, well, we already saw the trailer.
If they did that, but like a recreation of it, so she's walking through. He's like, oh, Hugh, are you playing Wolverine again? And he's still eating the same apple. He's like, yeah, sure, but it's just literally just a passive comment. So he's not actually going to do it.
It's like we've already seen all the trailers. It's fine. It's not spoiling anything.
But I mean, there was a lot of stuff they could have done that they didn't.
Yeah, but I think overall it was.
I liked it more than most people seem to have.
Yeah, I think it was fine. I think it was funny when it needed to be funny. I think it was a good sort of like not just like another origin story with someone being some awful tortured past. But at the same time, I get that when it's like a TV show budget, you can't have her just turning into the Hulk and smashing shit up constantly because that's like. Kevin Bott says that's real expensive. Like, do you reckon that's going to be like the new Stan Lee now? It's just going to be like Kevin Bott, just sort of like behind the scenes, just pressing buttons.
Because I mean, I assume they're still going to stick him in there somewhere.
Maybe, I don't know.
They're gonna have to, aren't they? Can't just stop.
Or just put a big statue of him in the middle of the
He was one of the watchers, wasn't he? So.
Well, he was like an informant.
He's always there. He's always watching. Excelsior.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I don't know. I think there's. I still think so. Just to move on from that, but to another Disney Plus property, Callum. Andor is about 3 or 4 weeks into Andor, so we've had about 4 or 5 episodes. Cause
first one had 3.
Was it 3 or was it 2? It was 3, wasn't it?
3, yeah.
Yeah. I
best episode.
Absolutely fucking love it.
Best episode this week.
I think it's.
I didn't like last week's. Last week's was boring as hell.
Well, you haven't watched last week's then.
I have.
Because last week's
the week before. Sorry, the week before. So
yeah,
the one that's
but that's the
primarily
thing. I didn't
filmed
watch
in Scotland.
that one. Yeah, I didn't watch that one. I watched that one and the one after that back to back. Man alive! Like, if you like, I obviously you can't do that now. But if you, when you see what I mean, what like the next one is, like that was just like a build up to this like huge cool thing.
Yeah. I still wasn't overly happy with it.
So worth it.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot, but there was certain. It's just typical things that have to happen in a show to move story elements along. But it's like, so essentially, the big plan was to just fly up and then fly down. Spoilers for Andor. That was his big, like, where he's got to work out the stuff. Just fucking fly up and then fly down because that's all you did. And then they were already running behind schedule, yet they tried to get more and more and more and more credits, and then they ended up getting caught. And then obviously Thingy gets shot and killed. Spoilers for Andor. But they.
Oh no, that is last week.
That's what I'm saying. No, I said what I meant was the week before that one.
Right. Okay.
So the one I was bored with, and I actually genuinely fell asleep and had to fucking catch up on it. There's the episode before last week's, and it's basically just them milling about in basically Scotland, and then every now and again, it cuts back to like the security guy with his cereal, just fucking dropping it in, and then it cuts back to them talking about but not actually doing anything, and then they do a little bit of fucking military marching, and then it cuts back to him with the same fucking cereal, but this time his mum pushes some fruit over to him as well. Then it goes back to Mon Mothma and her daughter having a fucking slanging match, and the dad just being like, nothing to do with me. And then it cuts back to him with his cereal, and then it cuts back to them talking about some more things that they still haven't fucking done yet. And then I woke up and I was like, huh? So I had to catch up. But last week's, I think is probably
called
my
subplots, Callum. They're subplots.
I'm fine with the subplot, but
however, I'll give you the cereal one. Like, I get that he's sort of like having a bit of a identity crisis, but that is interspersed between them planning a heist.
Yeah, but it's just,
and he's not going to be a part of that. He's not going to be a foil to that. Like,
he's going to end up in the Empire.
I get. Yeah, presumably, yeah, he's going to.
His uncle's going to get him a job washing 8080s or something.
I don't want that job. I'll tell you what, put that in Power Wash Simulator. I'll play the shit out of that.
But see, like, imagine you didn't watch the two together and you did what I did. If I watch them together, I can see where you're coming from, because you've got this big build up and then you watch the next one immediately and there's a bit of a payoff to it. But I watched that and then I had to wait a week to get to, like, nothing happened at all. And it's a typical, if that was the first episode, they'd have released about 10 to make up for it.
Yeah.
Still, I mean, it's still better than a lot of other TV shows, but I was disappointed. And then there was just silly little bits, like when I can't remember the guy's name, but when Cassian's talking to, after they've done the heist, and he's just like, there's 80 million on there. How the fuck do you know? He just fucking lobbed it all in. But 80 million on there.
Yeah, well, they also didn't get on that ship and then land immediately. Presumably, there was a couple of hours before they landed on this planet.
Yeah, there was fucking stopping that guy from bleeding out.
Yeah, but also, if you went, okay, well, each one of those, like, cylinder things, that's 100 grand.
Potentially.
Or count them all. That'd take 10 minutes. 80 million. Right, I know how much is on there now.
It's like, we'll split that between us. That's 40 mil a piece. And And I thought it was going to be like a test. So then Cassian goes, yeah. And he goes, I knew we couldn't trust you. And it was.
Yeah, I thought that.
But then it turned out.
And then he just
shoots him.
He just goes bang. He just shoots
but they're never going to believe him. Like, what a stupid plan.
But who? Everyone else is dead.
They got that's another thing. When he goes into the fucking tent, he's like, I want a ship. And she's just like, I can't remember the kid's name. But she's like, he wanted you to have this manuscript. He's like, no, I don't want it. No, he insisted. No, he didn't. He's unconscious. And now he's dead.
No, he's dead.
No, but he was unconscious while they were doing the procedure. So when did he say that?
Yeah, well, presumably.
In case I die.
No, presumably he woke up enough after the procedure had failed to give that to her.
Maybe.
One would assume.
Maybe.
But that was happening whilst
I
he was.
He's a good character.
I don't know. I kind of like the Stormtrooper guy, and I'm a bit gutted that he was just shot and that he's dead. But to be fair, that's kind of like it's like the Rogue One thing. It's just sort of like, don't get attached to too many people because they'll just get shot. I think she was really good, like the sort of like the reluctant kind of like leader, like putting all this together.
Had a lot of big balls until it came to using them, and then she froze up, didn't she?
Oh, with
on the bridge,
blowing up the thing, yeah, which probably didn't help matters. But like, it's a really good like heist. You know, there's like this huge, like incredible spectacle meteor shower that they could like get a bunch of the officers to go watch that to like reduce the security in that. So basically, if she'd have just stuck to the plan, or if they'd have just gone into that room and just shot that guy, they would have pulled that heist off perfectly.
That's what I mean. Like they was already behind schedule, so just been get what you can and just fucking go. But they got greedy.
The impression that I'm getting is that none of these people, like the rebellion, has soldiers. Like they train people to be like commandos and saboteurs and assassins and whatever. This is just a ragtag bunch of people who don't like the Empire and want to fuck them over. Exactly. So like the fact that she froze up, I totally buy that. And the fact that Cassian, we've already seen him just point blank murder a person. Like, I didn't expect him to do, because I thought the same thing, like with how much that guy was just sort of like, I don't trust you, you're going to shoot us all when we're not asleep or something like that. You've got this fucking kyber crystal that's worth more than all of us, like, our lives collectively put together, and yet here you are for this thing, like what the fuck are you playing at? And then when he's just sort of like, actually, do you know what, everybody's dead, there's just me and you, we could go in there, finish her and him off, and that's 40 million each, which to me would suggest that he'd be willing enough to shoot Andor in the back as well and just go, fuck it, I'll take it all. But if he knew how to fly the ship in the first place, then probably he would have done.
Because it was only him that knew.
But but this is the thing, I think Andor's just running through this whole scenario in his head, and he's just like, there's no way that I can come out on top here.
Yeah.
Like, that we all get like an equal cut, or this all goes to fund rebellion or whatever it is. And this guy is just going to dick everybody over, and none of it's going to be worth it. So it's easier if I just shoot him now and just get it over with. Yeah,
but none of that's explained though. Like that's it. That's
what I like. But that's the reason I like it. It's because it's not spoon fed to you like you're an idiot, and you have to understand how this process works.
I want it to be well written enough that you can go, well, actually, I think it was more this way and stuff. But it isn't. It was just kind of a knee jerk reaction. Like his only reaction to situations like this is to pull the trigger, but that's also been sidelined in times when he should have pulled the trigger. So when I think it's episode 2 or 3, and you got the security guy who's with the cereal, and instead of killing him, he ties him up, and he should have killed him straight away, not even fucking spoke, just fucking shot him point blank. Obviously he didn't, because he has a role to play in the show, but it's situations like that, like what he should have done was try and trick the stormtrooper guy into confessing what he said to her, so they knew. But I don't know how we do that, but it was just one of the things, like your explanation makes a lot of sense, and I would agree with it. It's just that's not how it came across in the actual show to me. And normally we're on the same tracks for most things like this. So a little bit disappointed in some aspects of it, but I think it's the best episode in terms of story progression.
Yeah, I think that for me, like, Mando is real good, but it's like you say, it's not spoon feeding it to you, but there's no surprises to it. You don't need to think about anything that's going on. You don't need to try and analyze anything. Everything's very clear. That person's a good person. That person's a bad person. That one's a robot, and that's a baby. Like, it all kind of makes sense. But with this, it's like, it's like the whole, you've got like a team of people that are all going to rob a thing. Are they all just going to try and shoot each other in the back? Like, but one of them is like, he's like absolutely for the rebellion, and like this will light the fire into the rebellion, and this will fund it. And then you've got another guy who's like, is he just an opportunist? And it's just like, well, if everybody else gets killed and I've got the opportunity, I'm going to fucking steal it all, and I don't mind shooting any of them to do so. And then you've got Andor, who was just getting himself out of a bad situation, but then he's kind of like being turned around to the idea of this rebellion. And then the second that someone threatens that rebellion, shoots them immediately.
Which is an unrebelly thing
so
to
maybe
do.
he's... No, it's not. Like, that's literally when he's like in the rebellion, the first thing you see him do in Rogue One is shoot a dude in the back.
That's an unrebellion thing to do. So, like, even in Rogue One, he's a bit sketchy. So you've got like... when you think of the rebellion, you think of Leia and stuff like that. Like people
you think of Mon Mothma, and it's all heroes and whatever.
Triumph
but
over evil.
You can't have... you can't have a rebellion that doesn't have people that are going to do the gritty, awful, nasty work. You need people to bump off like big targets.
Han Solo and Greedo.
Well, that was for Jabba. That wasn't for the Empire. But yeah, I get what you mean.
No, I mean you've got. I think I find it more interesting that the rebellion obviously starts with this ragtag crew of they don't trust each other. They will kill each other. Realistically, they're only in it for the money, for at least to start with, and some of this money's got to go to funding the actual rebellion. And
it's like 18 million. Like, I don't know what the sort of like the general economics of the Star Wars galaxy is, but that seems like it's more than enough to buy like a few ships and a bunch of soldiers.
I think so.
Build a base.
I don't know what the
kind of
conversion
stuff.
rate is, but like they come back to Anna and go, "Oh yeah, that'll get you the 3 cans of blue milk." You go, what?
Yeah.
Thank you, Farmer Luke.
I think it's... I really like Mando. I think it's good for a spectacle thing, but I think it's a very good sort of like hand-holdy kind of adventure show. It's a very westerny thing. It's like, again, it's bounties, good guys, bad guys. You know where everybody stands. There's not a double cross that's going to come in that you're not going to see coming from a mile away. Whereas this, it just seemed like if one person just pulled a gun, they all would have done it on each other. And I just think that it's, for me personally anyway, I just think it's far better written, and I think it's just a more interesting story than just Beskar and jetpacks and lightsabers and whatever.
It's less traditionally Star Wars.
I'd say so, because you could have that same...
And Rogue One's phenomenal. I love Rogue One. And I think that also could be why I'm so overly hypercritical of this, is because it's nowhere near as good as Rogue One. But I don't think it's meant to be. And I don't know, it's an awkward thing, because like, whilst a lot of people online in real life and stuff like watch the first 3 episodes of Andor, that was like so boring. Like, I didn't think it was boring at all. Like, I liked the world building and everything else, but not the newest one, the one before, that proper ruined it for me. And that literally was, this is just boring. Instead of talking about doing this stuff, let's go do some stuff. Like, do some target practice, do something.
No, but that's the thing. I think that's the curse of these modern TV shows, that you can't have an episode of something without a big fight, a big punch up, a big laser shootout. But that's the thing. That's something. You don't always need that something. Sometimes you just need people to just talk to each other.
But there wasn't talking about anything interesting.
No, I disagree. But no, they were. They were. You was understanding as to who they were and how they were all there.
Which,
like, that was the point of it. It's to, again, it's what they could have or should have done in Rogue One, to kind of like build up the other characters that were there, rather than just, he's a pilot, he's a stick guy, he's a shooting man. I don't think
this was ever in, like, when Rogue One came out, I don't think they ever went, we should probably do a TV show on some of these characters.
No, I mean, in the film, like, they didn't do anything other than just sort of like very quickly, this is your character role, and then put them in the film. There wasn't any like exploration of who they were as a person, with the exception of probably Jin and Saw maybe as well.
Yeah, but again, they didn't go too much into Swords until Clone Wars cartoon.
Well, that was way before.
No, so I'm saying like you had his backstory in that, and then in the movie they didn't delve that much into it.
No, but again, that's because that existed. Like, just in the same way that if they did Rogue One and this show existed, you wouldn't need to do it for Andor. Well, you've already got it.
Yeah.
But for like Donnie Yen's character, as like an old Force, like not Force sensitive, like an old Temple guard, like. I would love to see a show about that guy. Just sort of like a kind of a lone Ronin Western going into a town, solving problems with beating the shit out of people with a stick for a bit. That'd be a great show. I'd love to watch that. I say get all the Rogue One cast and get them all their own TV shows, a prequel.
I'd watch more Jin. Because she's beautiful.
She is pretty. She is. I'll give you that. But also, there's a bunch of stuff from the trailers that didn't show up in it, and that's what I really wanted to see. I want to see a shoot down a TIE fighter. That's what I want to see.
And the never released Rogue One kit for Rogue One set for Disney Infinity. They're real good. They're real good.
Stop banging on about Disney Infinity. It's dead in the water, right? It's Disney Starlight Valley or whatever it is now. That's it. That's what you get.
I want more toys. I want more figures. They do at the Disney store. You can buy. It's called like the toy box line or something like that. But they're like actual action figures in the style of the Disney Infinity designs for different characters and stuff, and they're really cool. I was like, man, and when I first saw them, I was like, new Disney Infinity, but it wasn't. They're just actual toys. I'm like, god damn it.
Right.
But yeah, the Star Wars stuff for Disney Infinity is still one of my favourite games. It was so well made. It was very fucking good. Especially at the time, it was the first Battlefront game as well. It was out. And like, this is a better game than Battlefront. But then the second one came out, and you're like, this is way better. But nah, I really like Andor. I've just been a little bit let down, and I still rate it very high. And it's way better than Boba Fett.
I think it's without a doubt. I don't think there's anyone, even if you're sort of a little bit on the fence about it, I don't think anyone could argue with that.
Boba Fett was a huge letdown.
I'd say that it is my most, like, it's the most sort of gripping, and I'm actually really looking forward to watching it. Like, Bando is just sort of like, oh, who's going to be in the next one? Is Ashoka going to show back up again? Is Grogu going to do a Force thing? Is Luke going to turn back up again?
I do think Ahsoka's going to be the best Star Wars show, though, because it's basically the new season of Rebels. So I'm all in.
Which is fine, but again, that's then a Star Wars thing, whereas this doesn't just specifically feel like it's a Star Wars. It's not all lightsabers and Force
because they're all from
and whatever.
fucking Scotland.
Good. Like to be fair, I think with the exception of like maybe the out of work now security fella, they all seem to be either British or Scottish or Geordie or like.
It's in a lot more.
You can tell it's like, with the exception of Cassian, obviously, who's. Is he French?
I don't actually know where the actor's from.
I'm not sure. He sounds like, to me, he's got a bit of a sort of like
he's got a
French
bit of a twang
to him. But I don't know if that's just like if he's.
Oh, he is a bit of a twang.
How dare you?
I like him.
It's got a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes, mate, and I fucking agree with that. 100%.
I don't disagree. But on the same merit, so it's like Sharknado.
Diego Luna sounds Mexican. Yeah, Mexican. He's Mexican.
Doesn't sound Mexican.
So he's a Mexican putting on a French accent. That's how he's got the Andor accent.
That's where it is. Them French Mexicans. No, like I say, I really like it. I've just been let down by it.
Well, I'd say that I'm agreeing with Rotten Tomatoes. I think presuming that's the critic score rather than the left score, but I'd say that 91% that sits left.
That's critic.
Yeah. No, that was just on the Google homepage thing. I'm assuming that it's the critics.
No, that's. I think the one that shows up on Google is not Rotten Tomatoes. What's the other one?
Well, it says it's Rotten Tomatoes. So.
Oh, it's normally on Google. Yeah. The one on the left is the other one, the one that you couldn't say.
Oh no, there's Metacritic, and then there's But yeah, Rotten Tomatoes is next to that one. But I'd say 91% is perfectly. I'd say that's absolutely accurate as far as I'm concerned. But if you were to put a percentage on it, whereabouts do you reckon you'd
I'd probably
be
put it 80s. 80s. 91% critic, 82% audience.
Yeah, so it sounds like you're more with the audience, I'm more with the critics on this, if that's the case.
Yeah, but that's only based on 6 reviews. Am I joking?
I was going to say, for a Star Wars thing, you mad?
Like I say, it's good, and I rate it higher than most people, with the exception of yourself. I rate it higher than most people I've spoken to about it, and I don't mind it being slow, and I don't mind I like the grimy world building that they're doing. I just think there's a lot of bits where they've like missed the mark for me, and the weakest episode by far is that one I fell asleep on. I'd also been like DIYing and decorating like all day, and then finally sat down and ate tea at like 9 o'clock and then watched that and then fell asleep. So it's not necessarily the episode's fault. Just for our audio listeners, Dan's mic's decided to turn off. Luckily, once this review's done, he'll have a brand new Moano DM30 microphone, so this shouldn't happen anymore.
Well, I'll be honest, mate. I was looking on Twitter earlier, just sort of having a bit of a mooch about, and in the trending thing, it said Patrick Stewart, and I was like,
no.
Fucking hell. Went into it, and it's basically because, like, you know that everyone, for some reason, I don't know why everyone's doing this, but everyone is. I mean, I understand why they're doing it, and good for them. But everyone's absolutely tearing into James Corden at the moment.
What's he done?
Oh, he's just a wanker.
Oh, then yeah, I'm all on board for that because I fully agree with that.
Everyone in the country apparently already agrees with that, but it's because like he broke through in America, didn't he? But
I don't know how.
It's just like all these stories. I don't know. But like all these stories are now coming out. It's like he's been an absolute fucking cockend to like. Just wait staff and like hostesses and stuff like that. It's just been an absolute penis. And there was a clip from years and years ago when Patrick Stewart and like James Corden were like on some sort of like stage, like some sort of award ceremony or something like that. And Patrick Stewart just had a massive go at him in front of everyone, just saying like, you what an absolute mess you are. Like you're standing there, you got your hands in your pockets. Like he's just sort of like, this is like an award thing and you're not being professional. And just called him out for him there and then.
Because no one's going to have a go at Patrick Stewart.
I mean, he wasn't probably his finest hour doing that, to be honest. I remember it being sort of like, because I think Corden kind of came back and it was just like, oh my God, I can't believe that. Because like Patrick Stewart was called, and like the audience wasn't like cheering in with him or anything like that, but he was just like, oh my God, I can't believe that I'm with Patrick Stewart and he's dying on stage. Like he just sort of had something like that. But now it looks like 6 years later or something like that, and that's the tables have turned now, and everyone's just sort of like, yeah, go for it, Patrick Stewart. He's a mess, isn't he?
Always reminds me of I did use it on a very old podcast. It was like, what's orange and yellow and would look good on James Corden? Fire.
When you use that, that would have been a topical joke, and it would have made me laugh.
That's from an old podcast.
Motherfucker ain't gonna remember that.
Well, I'll put that at the beginning.
Okay, yeah, sure, that's fine.
But it's a good joke because you can reuse it for anyone, really.
Yeah,
just someone you don't like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, I can't stand James Corden. There's been a lot of interviews that I've wanted to watch because I like watching some like the celebrity interviews with stuff like Hugh Jackman, Patrick Stewart, like whatever. And there's been quite a few that I haven't watched purely because it's on the Tonight Show with James Corden or whatever the fucking show he is that he does. I hate him so much. He's not funny. He's not charismatic. I genuinely don't know how he's famous. I really don't. There's so many better people out there. Me included.
I think it's from like Gavin and Stacey.
I never watched that.
A show that I never watched, and I think if I've seen it in snippets, it's not for me. But I think he's kind of like, he just sort of like shone in that. But again, presumably, that's other people's writing and jokes that he's doing.
Yeah, no, exactly.
So I don't know. Again, I'm not an expert, so I wouldn't claim to be. But I don't know if that's the case or not. But from there, he seems to have gone from that to like panel shows and stuff like that, and then he's just ended up like getting the carpool karaoke thing in America, and that was really popular. I don't understand how, but whatever.
Yeah, I just don't get it. I really
but I
don't.
Honestly, not that I've with people a huge amount that ever talk about him, but whenever he's come up, I don't know anyone that likes him.
I wouldn't say so.
Like no one's just sort of like Jimmy Carr, like he's kind of like a standard kind of like one-liner joke teller, kind of stand-up comic or whatever. Some people like that, some people don't, but he's still arguably he's still quite funny.
Yeah.
Like even if he just sort of like he's like sort of like dealing with hecklers and kind of like firing off one-liners. But I don't know anyone that thinks he's funny. No, I wouldn't go and watch his show.
I'd never go out of my way to watch anything that he's in and done. But like you just said, like you'll have people like a perfect example being Russell Brand. Like I quite like Russell Brand. I think he's pretty clever and pretty funny. But equally, I know a lot of people that can't stand him. But I genuinely don't know anybody that will go, "Oh, have you seen that new James Corden show? It's fantastic." Yeah. No, like those people don't exist. And
well, I'm going to get his IMDb up for you now, just so we can see what the hell happened. So using Gavin and Stacey, then a TV show called Us and Them, but that looks like it's a spin-off from the looks of it, but like a Gavin and Stacey spin-off.
Pull up.
And then Late Late Show Carpool Karaoke in 2016. He's just gone from that straight to America.
How?
Presumably, there's been like some American producer or something like that that's seen him, or he just knows the right person, or he's met the right person, or someone has just watched the thing that he's in and gone, "That's the one that we need."
Do you think they've gone? Do you know who we need to present the Tonight Show? We need Ricky Gervais. They go, "Which one's Ricky Gervais?" Because he's that British guy. Like everyone loves him. He's in that TV show that was dead popular, and then whoever it is who's booking it has just booked the wrong person. And then,
or they looked at the price list that it would be to get Ricky Gervais, and they were like, "Fucking hell, who else is British and fat? James Corden, right? He's 50 quid. We'll get him to do it instead.
We'll fly him over, and that'll be he can sort his own like accommodation out and stuff. He can live in a bin. It's fine."
But I think most people want him in that bin at the moment. To be honest, it's not going well for him.
I hope this is where he learns his lesson, and he has to prove himself to climb back.
Well,
up
there's
that
been.
ladder.
I mean, we don't really like to do. Sort of public-y things outside of the nerd community, really.
Speak for yourself.
I'm just going to see if there's... I'm just going to look in the Twitter trending... I don't know, it's just a hashtag saying, "I stand with Graham Norton." So, potentially he's called out a bunch of people for being shitbags, maybe?
I like Graham Norton.
Well, here you go. So, underneath that, so this is Ryanair's Twitter that said Ryanair... James Corden banned from Ryanair. So someone has said, "How can you ban James Corden? He's the funniest, most charismatic comedian and all-round nice guy this country's ever exported. James Corden represents the UK so well in the USA. He has an OBE for a reason." And then literally the person underneath says, "No one in the UK likes James Corden."
Well, have you seen that headline from the Telegraph? This is a tiny cretin of a man. No more's needed.
Wow.
Oh, I love that. So I'm so glad you told me about this.
We stand with the hashtag "Fuck you, James Corden. No one thinks you're funny," and we'll get that trend on Twitter, and you can all join in.
He's just a twat. I hate him so much. Zoe's just got here, and Zoe will agree. I think actually no. I tell a lie. Zoe's mom and stepdad like Gavin and Stacey, so I do know. I do know someone that likes it.
But that's not that's just saying that you like the show that's written and the way it's directed, and the performances of that. And
just to bring things back, look out for the review of the Moano DM30 cardioid microphone, Dan's new microphone. It's going to be very fun. It's going to be very exciting, and it's going to bring us some money. So check it out. Dan, thanks for joining us. It's been one hell of a ride. But if you want to see more stuff, including the upcoming review of the Moano DM30 cardio condenser microphone, head over to podcastversusplayer.com, where there's also Let's Plays, game shows, animations, more reviews, more podcasts, spoilercasts, loads of stuff, and it's all available for freezies. You can also leave us a message on the wall And if you've got yourself a Android or Apple device, you can download Swell and you can leave us a message on there. And what we'll probably will do on the next episode is include a few in there. I didn't do one.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do
week.
right now, Callum, is because I told you the last podcast
I did
that
do
you
one.
to
Thank you very much.
do a little Swell, and I'm just going to check and see what you did, because I don't believe that you did.
I did do one.
I don't believe you, mate.
I bloody did.
I think you've lied to me.
I've deleted our account.
Oh no, because the last post on here is the one talking about the most tattooed man, which you made.
Yeah.
On the 2nd of September. Liar.
Hold on, sunshine.
Unless you were just talking. Next podcast comes along, and then I'm going to go, wait a minute, did he actually bother doing it this week? No, he didn't.
I was on the phone to James Cordon.
You go for it right now.
Or no. Well, I believe.
Just so you've got evidence, we'll all do it.
Load.
We'll do it together.
Bug. Is there a reply on that one? Because I replied while I was outside and I apologised because a truck went past me.
Don't say piss. I need a piss.
I'm going to do it right now, Dan. I'm going to do it right now, this very, very second. And I'm going to do it super professional as well. Just to fucking piss you. I'm going to use it, plug in the Moana DM30 into my phone.
Well, there you go. First use of the microphone.
Hello, welcome to another Swell. We are currently recording Podcast vs. Player, episode 227. And we've just been discussing James Cordon, and we dislike him very much. I'm not going to go into the details into the language that I use because it's pretty awful. But what are your thoughts on James Cordon and what's happened in the news lately? And do you think he was? Are you possibly one of the people that thinks he was in the right to kick off at these restaurant staff? We don't, and we hope you don't either. But whatever your thoughts, let us know. I bloody did it, Dan. Look, it's recorded.
You did it, and it was topical as well. So plenty of
Very
engagement,
topical.
I'm sure.
And
make sure
recorded.
You put hashtag James Cordon.
Hashtag James Cordon. And hashtag Moana DM30. A microphone you can also plug into your mobile device.
I want a counter of how many plugs that you can have in one episode of a podcast. And I think you've used them all up by now.
Anyway, enough about that. Download Swell. Prove me wrong. And we'll see you. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye. Who's celibate by choice? Not his choice, mind you. Everyone else's. Whose Chinese cannibal friend lives in North London? He orders all his meals from Harrow Flesh.
For fuck's sake. Definitely can't use that one.
Whose ex-girlfriend owned a parakeet? And oh my god, that fucking thing would never shut up. But the bird was cool. Sex has gone downhill with the missus, so I bought her a dildo. It looks like a carrot, she said. Which is ironic, as a fanny looks like a donkey yawning.